lots and lots of ferrets.
But can you remember, Andy, what do you call a group of ferrets? We had this earlier in the week.
I can. Do I get a gold star, if I remember? Business! Where's my gold star? Gold star.
Bend over.
Yes. Yes, a business of ferrets. So, let's try and get all the ferrets out if we can. Every single one of them. If we can see them in the dust. Actually got quite a nice selection here, so oh, he's got the fox going again. Right, just while we go about our business of ferrets.
Just here, right here, we've got a dingo. This is the vehicle that the ferret was developed from. Do you know anything about its history, sir? Nothing at all.
It's like trying to herd cats. A group of ferrets. Business of ferrets too. Right, ferret mania. So, these were two-man crew. So basically, they would scout ahead of the main body of troops, have a look around, see if they can find the enemy, see how strong they are, whether they've had a good meal, what morale's like, how much kit and equipment they got. And then they radio back to their commanders and basically tell them what they see, and then they would send the appropriate task force, equipment, tanks, anything forward to deal with the task. Now these had a nickname. The nickname was the two-man coffin. Jump
Fly.
Yes, he's going to fly and spread himself over a large area. Now we've got different variants here. So the Mark 1s basically have got no turret on them. So we've got the desert one on the end and the other desert one. Oh, we have a green one over here. Now they were the Mark 1s, and they found that the commanders and the drivers were very exposed to incoming rounds, sort of coming up in the air and down on top of them. So they decided, let's put a turret on top, and called it the Mark 2, which means they could fit either the GPMG machine gun or the Browning 30 cal machine gun.
They're not exactly ergonomically designed. There are plenty of opportunities for hurting yourself driving a ferret. Lots of sharp edges and knobbly bits inside and everything in awkward places. I'm getting smiled at by various people sitting on top of them.
Yes, but we do have two slightly different ones that have got a fixed turret and basically afforded the more protection for the commander, so he can sit down with his head just poking out the top. They're really, really fun to drive. They're a really good military vehicle, like a first armoured vehicle to start with, because it will go straight into a garage. They're all petrol with a B60 Rolls-Royce engine. Can be a little bit juicy at times, but they are a lot of fun, and you can drive it on a normal car licence. So there you go. That's a business of ferrets.
Marvellous.
Excellent.
You can have fun with collective nouns, can't you?
You can.
After quite a lot of beer, we decided that the collective noun for military policemen was bastard. Any more than three of them.
Okay, so we're going to get rid of the ferrets, so we get to start their engines up.
Thank you, ferrets.
Thank you.
Thank you ever so much for bringing them in for us to see.
Yeah. And there's a couple of them, you just struggle. Oh, we like to bring them close in, so they've got to work for the money. So we're going to bring something else a little bit older in, if it makes it round, because bless it, it's quite old, it's Second World War. And here it comes, slowly lumbering. He's having a few problems this morning, but good old British military style, the Saxon. Yep, I can remember working.
Okay, the interesting thing about the Fox and the Humber series armoured cars and the Guy armoured cars is they're rather tall. You can see them moving along all the way around the arena. You can see the turret. Very difficult to operate in a hold-down position with one of these things. Now, this is a Canadian armoured car. This is a GMC Fox, which is a copy of a Mark III Humber armoured car. Guy Motors and Roots Group were developing vehicles like this in the immediate years before the war. From a distance, the only real way you can tell the difference between a GMC and a Humber is from the wheeler hubs. They've got slightly different axles. Now, I know Jones has sat in there, and I'm going to ask him if he knows anything very much about the history of this one, because I don't know nothing about it. So, can you tell us anything about it?
Good morning, everyone. It's a 1941 Fox armoured car. This particular model came back from Portugal, probably in the late 80s. We think it would have been in Angola, but that's all a supposition. It would have been hit by a landmine, and then a very well-known collector, Preston Isaacs, had it at Competent Combat Collection down in Devon. Well worth a visit if anyone's passing that way.
Lovely, thank you very much. Now, these and the Humbers were phased out by the British Armed Forces and Canadian Armed Forces towards the end of the war because they're too tall, and they were replaced in Northwest Europe by the Daimlers, which are a lot lower and squatter. But I know from talking to veterans that they always kept one of these with a squadron, even though they re-equipped the Daimlers, because these have a manual gearbox in and they're much, much better for towing and for recovery work. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Alex, very much. So, the YP408 DAF. Now, how old is this? 50. Oh, it doesn't look it, does it? It's 51 years old, believe it or not. I thought it was more modern than that. I really, really did. I've never seen one of these. Like not the War and Peace show. I like it. I want it. I want to buy it. Give me, just gift it to me. It's a really, really nice bit of kit, and it's just so smooth. And yeah, I can imagine it's quite a smooth ride in the back when the troops are in there getting deployed. Yeah, I like it a lot. Brilliant. Awesome. So, what we're going to do, we're going to hand over to Michelle, who's going to tell you something about the pulse action that's broken down in the arena.
Yes, we'll just give it its 5 minutes of glory before it gets towed out of the arena. Unfortunately, they weren't the most reliable of vehicles because they do have a habit of going wrong. They were originally built, they're not in production anymore, but they are built on the Bedford M series chassis, and all other parts are pretty much commercially sourced and used from other vehicles, which meant that operationally they were very easily fixed because there was no sourcing around for hard to get parts, or if they were actually out in operations they could pretty much pick up parts for them anywhere. They were lightly armoured and be a lot faster than all the tracked vehicles that you get. This version is actually one of the infantry versions and armoured personnel carrier. It has a crew of 2 and can fit 10 infantry in the back. The armament is a 7.62 machine gun. You get a recovery version which has a large winch on it, which I think we could possibly do with at the moment, but we don't have one on site. You get the infantry version, you've got command version. Basically they can be adapted to absolutely anything, but any anti-vehicle rounds will completely destroy this vehicle because the armour will not stand up to it. It is very heavy. I can't actually remember off the top of my head how heavy it is. Oh, 5.2 tonne apparently. I would have thought it would have been a little bit heavier than that. But there you go. Apparently it depends on its mark and its model and its role, which actually makes sense because depending on what it's being used for will depend on what kit it's carrying. There was also a variant, I believe, that it's not actually as common as the others, that was used as a mortar vehicle as well. So that obviously would have been pretty much the heaviest one of them all, because not only the mortar but all the rounds that it would have carried as well to make that effective. So I think we are going to see if we can actually get it out, and one of our arena crew is actually recovering this.
That's alright, a new clutch. I'll stick it on order now. Right, so on with the show. So what we've got in front of us now is a Land Rover Snatch, which basically they got slung out to, well, it was actually a Northern Ireland idea originally, and then they got pushed out as an emergency vehicle out to Iraq when that conflict kicked off. And they found that they didn't work very well. They were overheating, it was too hot for the troops in the back, because it's all semi-armoured, it's all composite armour. They upgraded the chassis, didn't upgrade the clutch or the brakes on the new one, or the old one. So they weren't that popular with the troops, but they were fitted with big AN radios, UHF, VHF. Some of them had ECMs, but basically it was a patrol vehicle. So they go out patrolling their area, and if they got into trouble they could deploy from the back, sort out whatever it is that's coming at them, and then hopefully jump back again, and off they go. But the door's about an inch and a half thick, the netting on the outside, the cage netting on the old world mesh, just to stop stones and all that sort of stuff. That's all it was really for, the kids throwing stones at all the vehicles. But it was a vehicle that did a job. It's nice to see them out, there you go. So they could pull the front armour mesh up from inside, and like I said, purely for stones. And then you dent the bonnet when it comes back down again. But there it is, that's the Snatch Land Rover. This is what looks like it's probably the second or third generation. 2B, there you go. Whereas the first generations, most of them were the V8, 3.5 litre V8. But like I said, they had a lot of trouble trying to cope with the heat out there. But there you go, brilliant. Thank you very much. Right, next, we have a Saladin. But you'll see on the side of the tyres facing forward, these little sort of black plastic things. Now these were smoke canisters. So they'd load these up, so if they did get into trouble and started to take fire, they could fire these smoke canisters. They can use it for sighting, so they can fire a tracer round out of the machine gun, and if it hits the target, then they can fire the main armament. I think I've only know of sort of 5 or 6, that's about it. So next is the noonday gun, which is going to be at noon, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, yeah, half 12.
It's alright, don't worry, you only had to tell the time last week.
Yeah, so it's 11:30 now, but probably about 1:45. Herr Jones is going to come in with some artillery pieces.